And then there is that discipline. Not that incidents don't happen, but border borders in Uganda, where it started from, they don't rape women. Like the type of border situation in Kenya where they are raping women, assaulting motorists. Border borders in Uganda were used for assassination, right to kill, assassination through riding, by riding. But that one again has come under check. Miriam, it is your day. That's all I can say. Directors, give us the good news on this day, 8th March 2022, the year of our Lord. Thank you. Over to you, Miriam.
All right. Thank you so much indeed. It was quite a very disheartening incident that happened yesterday along what was formerly known as a Forest Road, now Professor Wangari Maathai's Road. It's very sad. I was not able to get myself to watch that video because I just can't. But from what I heard and from the reports, really something needs to be done. And right now I think there's a hashtag that is doing rounds across social media, and Kenyans are asking for this sector to be regulated. And today indeed it is International Women's Day, and the day celebrated every 8th of March yearly to recognize the social, economic, and cultural and political achievements of women. And this year has a very special theme, and the theme for this year is Gender Equality Today for a Sustainable Tomorrow. So a very happy International Women's Day to all women joining us from across the globe. So let's just get into the headlines this morning. The main headline on the Daily Nation: Ruto to run parallel voting tallying center. The Deputy President says he is confident of victory in the presidential elections following by-election wins in Msambweni and Kiambaa constituencies. And the main pictorial there: a sector gone rogue, Kenya's lord of impunity emboldened by inaction that is on the border. And American farm Moderna to build vaccine plant in Kenya. President Kenyatta louds new 56 billion Kenya shillings deal as a game changer for the continent. You'll find that on page 6. And of course, there's a special report on the International Women's Day inside the Daily Nation and World of Difference, or KCP candidates, that you'll find on the back page of the Daily Nation. We head on over to the Standard newspaper. The main headline: Uhuru's failures are his own. Ruto, hard-hitting Deputy President, takes a campaign to UK, says his boss elbowed him out in second term. DP fears succession might not be smooth. That is on page 11 on the Standard. Women take lead in quest for power, that you'll find on page 8 and 9. Raila ready to go without Kalonzo and One Kenya Alliance. You'll find that on page 10. And cost of cooking gas rises over Ukraine conflict. You'll find that on page 4. And candidates fight odds as 1.2 million candidates seat for KCPE. And then we move over to the Star newspaper. The main headline on the Star newspaper: Ruto, I didn't appoint any cabinet ministers. Kenyatta recently accused Deputy President's wing of running down agriculture. That is on page 6. Smooth start to KCP despite bandit scare in Baringo. That is on page 10. And of course, the main pictorial there, I think it seems to be a fight. Nakuru Jubilee officials slag it out. Oh, what a shame. And that is what we have on the headline there. And we would force anybody to join Azimio la Umoja, Raila tells Wiper leader. That is on page 4 and 5. And harrowing video of border riders molesting woman, motorist sparks outrage. That is on page 2. So that is what we have in the leading newspapers here in Kenya.
Thank you very much, Miriam. That is very, very, very serious matter. Especially the matter we touch on the question of the border people. Let's begin with the border people. Few comments from Douglas Krimi. Can we have your comments, please?
And before we continue, I think one of our viewers there is saying no voice. I don't know.
Yeah, that is why I am. It is now okay. I think my first speech was deliberately technically taken out.
Okay, Ekichuku, we apologize for that, but I believe we have the sound back now. We apologize for that.
Okay, Douglas, thank you, Miriam. Douglas, can you make your comments, please, on this border money menace, please?
Thank you, Dr. David Matsanga. And I tend to believe that the border menace in this country was not created when the government made sure that the importation of the same into the country was tax-free. They were meant to create opportunities for Kenyans and also ease our lives as the people of Kenya. Of course, I've benefited a lot through the same sector, and also when I'm running my own errands, especially when I was running for political office, there are some places that a car would not get to, and I would hook into a bonda and get there in time, and also do my stuff and get back home before dusk, and also maybe at night when I get it. But at what it has turned out to be, today the border sector has become a menace in this country. That should be corrected. This is an era that should be corrected immediately, because we have suffered under the hands of the same people. The menacing gangs in Nairobi city and other towns and markets and urban centers in this country, or even the villages of this country, have been facilitated and promoted by the same, the border sector. The motorcycle sector or motorbike sector in this country has been able to wreak havoc to our national security as a country and as a people. For example, if one village suffers from the same, the next will suffer the same, because these people are all over the place. They're in the villages, urban centers, and market centers, and the capital, Nairobi City County. This was not the first or the only isolated incident of the border people. The other day, when I was going to Meru town after a meeting that we had with some people, we found out another woman was being accosted by the border gangs in this town. Meru Town, Dr. David Masanga. And we had to call the attention of the police for them to be rescued from the menacing gang that are already surrounding their vehicle and threatened to touch their vehicle simply because they had hit a border person accidentally, who had also taken the rein of the driver. And I would also want to urge the border sector to be disciplined, and also to be also proper users of the roads, because they do these things deliberately or in a hurry to go to their own destinations, not minding that the people who are also using the other road users are also going to the other destinations. For example, pedestrians have been hit by motorbikes that is spent off, and also vehicles have been hit by border people who have spent off, and also creating a problem in our roads that was not there before. But I think systematic isolation of this issue can be able to be applied, and we can be able to deal with this issue of the border people that has been able to wreak havoc to our national security, because this is a going concern for us as a people and as a country. If we continue this way, we are going to have border gangs mushrooming across the country and letting havoc to our security as a people and also as a country. Remember, the President of the Republic of Kenya always reminds us that security starts with you as a pedestrian, as a motorbike or a border man, or as a driver using these roads, or even as a Kenyan. You first need to protect yourself before these border people go out touching people's vehicles and all that. They need to also protect themselves from their own carelessness and also improper use of our roads. Dr. David Masanga, I submit.
Yeah, thank you very much. Any comments from Wesonga, please? Back to you, Miriam, and we see. Yes, okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dr. Masanga. And of course, I agree with my brother Douglas Kirimi that we should have a regulation on how our border actually operates. You realize that Rwanda has borders, Tanzania has borders, and actually, like you mentioned, I come from Busia County, which is on the border with Uganda. And actually, the border business started from Uganda before they came into Busia and then across the country. And therefore, we've never seen, for the longest I've stayed in Busia, for the longest I've been to Uganda, I've never seen border operators acting in a very barbaric way like we saw yesterday. And this is because we have a regulation. You mentioned that in Uganda, every border has a number plate which actually reflects in a police station. And that is the truth. Actually, even Tanzania and Rwanda borrow the same thing. In Tanzania, for example, every border has a number plate, and they have a very special unit of traffic police officers who deal with borders. In that, if you see a border actually flouting a traffic rule or maybe behaving in a disorderly manner, then you just have to forward the number plate, and then they'll be able to get to net in the operator. So that is the same thing that is happening in Rwanda. And we do have very, very much disciplined border operators. But here in Kenya, you realize that we do not have the regulation. That is the first problem. And problem number two, the deputy president of this particular country has been moving around, calling them hustlers, and been telling them that maybe the reason why they are hustlers is because someone else is rich somewhere who has taken away their monies. And we have borders actually looking at themselves as hustlers, and the other people who have cars as dynasties. So whenever you who is driving a car, a dynasty, actually even just crashes the border, then they will be unto you. They'll actually be getting to skin you alive, because to them you are a dynasty. And that is why you realize that unlike even countries, we do have borders in West Africa which are not regulated, just like in Kenya, but they are not as bitter as the Kenyan borders. Why our border riders bitter is because William Ruto has been running a narrative of hustlers versus dynasties, and therefore these people are riding on the road while seeing the.
Thank you very much. We are coming to that topic. Let's stick to there. Is it? I ask you a question now. Is it the mindset of our people that has created the chaos?
Exactly, Dr. Matsanga. It is the mindset.
Thank you very much. Back to you, Miriam. I think the mindset, and Wesonga and Douglas, let's look at that. The mindset. Are we ourselves? We created this monster. We have created them. We have gone ahead. Leaders themselves display the behavior. People pull out guns for others on the streets. If you are driving on these roads and you are not careful, you end up not going back home. You go to the mortuary.
But perhaps what is wrong with the Kenyan society? Because you would think, women, when you walk around, for instance, if I'm walking at a place where I feel I'm a bit unsafe, if I see a man coming, I'll feel safer because I'll think, in case of anything, this man will be able to protect me. But in this case, it is the men who are perpetrating this, and they were there recording, and they were there assaulting this when this lady was being assaulted. Some were part of the assault, some were recording and cheering on. What is really going on, and where as a society have we missed the mark? Perhaps that is the bigger question.
I think we've missed the mark, all of us. But the border, as Wesonga said, in Rwanda, there is discipline. Don't you think that we have a lot of democracy in Kenya? There's too much democracy here, to the extent that you see a person does not even, say sorry. He pours tea, he pours a drink on you, he looks at you and said, what? He said, if you want, go to court. Go and call police. We rely more of others to solve the problem than ourselves in this country. So is this the beginning of too much democracy given to Kenya, being floated to Kenyans? That the democracy that was in Rome during the time of Emperor Nero, until Nero said, who is causing this fire? Fire is coming to burn us. That's why you hear the saying, Miriam, that too much democracy killed Rome. Are we having a lot of democracy? Are we ourselves to be blamed for actions like this? Are we not the ones who say, but the border people are hustlers? As Wesonga, I stopped Wesonga because we are coming to that topic. Who is the creator, the monster of this? And there, Sean will be at liberty to finish the statement. We have set a wrong ethics. Morality is gone. Our morals are gone. Morals are gone. If an accident has happened in Zimbabwe, I've been to Zimbabwe several times, and believe me or not, Miriam, there are some societies in the continent of Africa, very good society. In Zimbabwe, if there is an accident, nobody will touch the other. They will call the police, and the police comes to sort the matter. If it is, and they call the ambulance, despite the fact that this country has been put on sanctions, it is functioning. Miriam, let's go further. Traffic lights. Do we obey the traffic lights? Do we? We don't obey the traffic lights. In Kenya, if you obey the traffic light, people will shout at you. In fact, you will be a victim of insults. Huyu, wewe, rudi kwenyu. Hapana Uganda, I have been howled at insults. When the red light is there and I stop with my car until the red light goes off, gives me away. People have insulted me before. Wewe. In fact, somebody even stopped and came. When he arrived, I put down the window, Miriam. Oh, Daktari. He thought it was somebody was coming. I was only obeying the traffic light. So, my dear, we have to begin by education. Is it our education system that is wrong? Let's begin around there. What do you think?
Education system, or as just the moral fabric of society?
But it begins with education.
We are not taught these things.
Yes,
at home and in school.
Yes, you Miriam, you are taught at school that when you see another one on the road is crying for help, you go and say, what is the problem? Let me call police. But now, are they the circumstances? Because you might go to a person who might be harmful. Just as you have said that whenever you see a man coming and something is chasing you, you think that a man is going to...
I feel so, but now it's not.
Now you can't. So what do we do? Well, Songa, bring some ideas on this one here, sir. What do you do? What is going on? Is it the mindset?
The streets have become very unsafe for us women, so it's very scary.
Well, Songa? Okay, Douglas.
Okay.
Okay.
So maybe they're having a bit of a connection issue there. Perhaps we just move to the next matter. And that is on page 4 on the Star newspaper. We won't force anybody to join Azimio la Umoja, Raila tells Wiper leader. ODM leader Raila Odinga has declared his team will not force anyone to join Azimio la Umoja movement days before he is crowned the coalition's presidential flag bearer. Asked by journalists whether Wiper leader Kalonzo Musyoka will be present at the Azimio la Umoja delegates conference, Raila said the Saturday meeting is for parties that subscribe to Azimio's ideology. The crowning of Raila by the affiliate party supporting his candidature was postponed at the joint ODM Jubilee NDC to enable Raila and Kalonzo to agree on even a larger political machine. Many observers consider Kalonzo's vote block essential to Raila. Others say the path will be more difficult, but he can manage to win without him. But the fate of the deal now remains unclear, as Raila and his lieutenant insist they have to soldier on. We will deal with those who come to us. We will not force anybody to come to Azimio. Azimio is for the willing, the ODM leader said when asked about Kalonzo.
Douglas, what are your comments on that, plus the comments of the mindset, morality, education?
Thank you, Dr. David Matsanga. I think the border sector in this country, or every other sector that has also mushroomed into a different, or come out into a different formation than we thought before. Border sector was an idea or a concept that was created in the government of President Mwai Kibaki so that we can be able to curb the unemployment rates in this country and also create job opportunities for young Kenyans and also grow our own economy. But it has come out to a different issue. I believe, and I also want to attach the education system in our country to your sentiments, but a bit differently than I think they should come out, because I think when these young people go to secondary schools, day secondary schools, and also primary schools, they have seen their peers who have not advanced in education go out there and acquire a motorbike and appear to be making money, appear to be living a very fresh life. And that also, I think, affects our educational sector and our well-being as a society, and also our welfare as a community, because this educational sector has exposed the young people to quick money, to quick schemes of acquiring a motorbike. Today, you can acquire a motorbike with the 15,000 Kenya shillings. You can be able to go and get the motorbike and also be paying on a daily basis or maybe weekly or monthly and acquire the motorbike after 1 year or after 9 months in the long run, and it becomes your own. The quick issue of making money with a motorbike, the luxury of owning a motorbike in the villages or towns has been able to be facilitated by our own educational sector that has been able to create these loopholes of creation of quick wealth or maybe quick cash in quote that has been promoted when these people go to school. I have seen young people who have been bought motorbikes by their parents or their children, by their guardians, who go to school using motorbikes. And I think as they continue with their education or with their running, they continue admiring the border sector, which I do not begrudge. I do not have an issue with the same, but I think that as we use our education sector to be able to change the lives of our people, we also use our educational sector, the educational system in our schools to be able to impart the same knowledge of the menace that we are creating today. Because I've seen people drop out of school, pick a border and go out there, Dr. David Masanga. I don't think my point is coming out clearly the way we want it to, but I think this is part of our system that has been able to create so many border people who are dropouts who do not want to go to school because it's a quick way to be able to make it in life, in quote, or maybe achieve something in quote in life by getting a border. Even a primary school kid can afford the same today. For example, if they pick money from their parents, 15,000 or 10,000 shillings, they can be able to sign up and get with a guardian or someone else as a guarantor. They can be able to get and access the same. And on the issue of Azimio la Umoja movement sentiments leader, His Excellency the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, I think that the Oka principles or the Oka Alliance or any other formation that would want to join the Azimio la Umoja, I think this movement is also moving very fast. They were given enough time, Dr. David Masanga. When these people are meeting in Naivasha or in posh hotels in Nairobi, Raila Odinga is meeting people in Lamu, is meeting people in Kisii, meeting people in Meru. For example, this week he is coming to Meru. Haven't seen Kalonzo Musyoka in Meru. Haven't seen Musalia Mudavadi, except when he joined William Ruto. It is not an initiative of his own together with Moses Wetangula. They were meeting in hotels daily, retreats after one and after another. And I think a time has come for us as a country to move from the idea of Kalonzo Musyoka or Gideon Moi coming together and making Raila president. Raila can only be made president when he appeals to the people of Kenya, the populace of the Republic of Kenya, the people with votes, that he can be able to be sent to State House as a people's servant, as a people's end of state, as a people's president, a person that has been elected not from retreats in Naivasha, a person that has been elected not from retreats in Mombasa by Hoka principles. This is a man that the people of Kenya shall wake up on 9th of August 2022 this year and vote for him to become the president of the Republic of Kenya. Not Gideon Moi, not Kalonzo Musyoka. This is what Kalonzo Musyoka should understand. This is what Oka principle Mother Karua should understand. I understand Wangari Mother Karua wants to run for the governor of Kirinyaga. Oka principle shall not make her the governor. She needs to go to the ground. She needs to go and meet the people and talk to them. Gideon Moi, if he wants to become a senator again, he needs to go back to Baringo and talk to the people and also make sure that at the end of the day, we, the people of Kenya, have listened to their manifesto as Oka. Today, we are in Azimio la Umoja movement. Some are in Kenya Kwanza, some are in Oka. And all these formations can only become useful or they can become proper tools of governance and also leadership in this country when they are voted in and form the next government. Government is not formed in retreats, Dr. David Masanga, or in hotels taking tea. The rights of Kalonzo Musyoka and Gideon Moi or Jirongo, the way they are exposing the same and telling us, we the people of Kenya, that should wait for Kalonzo Musyoka, make Raila Odinga president. I agree, there are people that listen to Kalonzo Musyoka and Gideon Moi, but the greatest threat that we have for democracy in this country is to think Kalonzo Musyoka can determine who becomes president of this country. Raila Odinga should continue with his Azimio la Umoja and go to the people of Kenya who shall vote for him on 9th of August 2022. These other shenanigans.
Thank you so much. Douglas. We're battling time here, and I think you've raised very important issues there. Thank you so much. We shall come and revisit some of that. But right now, I'd like to bring in Jevan Karanja, who also has joined us this morning. Jevan, if you can hear me, a very good morning to you.
Indeed, it's a very good morning, Miriam, from the Plains of Laikipia County, and I'm happy to join the conversation.
Go ahead.
First and foremost,
make your comments. Yes.
First and foremost is to condemn the incident that happened yesterday, where a young lady was crowbarred by these guns hiding in the border industry. That is something that the law should take its course and ensure that the culprits are brought to book. But on this issue of border, because that is where I found the conversation angling to add, I would add my input and say that the issue of border, we should look at why do we have majority of young people preferring to be in the border industry rather than going to technical schools. And we know the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta has provided and has built a number of technical institutions. One is because we have made this industry look so lucrative and lawlessness. Like you can go and behave the way you want, provided you are border guy. These guys, they don't have a law. They don't follow the constitution. They will clobber you, they'll beat you, and they will tell you to go and report because they know there is no action that will be taken against them. Therefore, if we want to have a long-lasting solution to this, is to ensure that we bring a criteria that will see that not everyone, not every Tom and Jerry will get to this border industry. We need to have a kind of certification. Before you join a border industry, you need to go for a kind of a training, whether it's at 6 months or 3 months training, so that we have some ethics, some kind of conduct inculcated into these young men. Failure to that, Miriam, we should brace ourselves. We should go and build our body because it will be a fight with these border guys. They will not follow. We need also to prepare ourselves for self-defense. You cannot be going around, Miriam, when these guys break the law, you are there as a victim and you are doing nothing. If the lady yesterday had a way he could protect herself, Miriam, I hope, I think he should have exhausted that way, that route, but it's so unfortunate. But Miriam, I have also seen leaders and people who respect in this country saying that we need to ban the border in CBD. And I'm left wondering what will happen to other parts of the country, because the decay and the bad behavior of the border industry is not a unique thing to Nairobians. Even here in Mashinani, they behave the same way. This is a nationwide concern that should be dealt with without reducing it to be a Nairobi problem. This is a nationwide concern. It's only that yesterday, a woman was a victim. People have been crowbarred. Men have been suffering in these streets, but nobody was raising enough alarm. And I think yesterday was the right day because it's a woman, and failing on the Women's International Day, I think it attracted the magnitude that it deserved. And that is why today we are having the conversation. But it has been a problem. Therefore, the law should ensure that this thing is dealt with and dealt with properly. On the issue of Oka and Azimio, I think nobody should be forced to join any coalition. If Kalonzo feels that he can make a good presidential candidate under Oka umbrella, he should be left to deal with it. We should not be forcing him to join Azimio. He has his own principles, he has his own mind, he has his own people, and he knows what he is doing. If he feels like joining William Ruto is good for him, he should do that. But we should not act as if those people were Azimio. They should not act as if they are so desperate that they must have Kalonzo on their side to guarantee a victory in 2022. Baba has been winning these elections without the support of Kalonzo, without the support of Mount Kenya region. Therefore, he only needs to go and talk to the people. In fact, the people are the one who has votes. This issue of kingpins and regional leaders is overrated. Miriam, the moment Kenyans understand that the people have the votes, these things of Kalonzo and the Musalia will come to an end. Thank you.
Okay, kingpins and regional leaders is overrated.
Thank you very much. Wesonga, are you there?
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much, Dr. Matsanga.
Combine it with your favorite topic.
Thank you so much, Dr. Masanga. And I agree with you that as a people, we seem to be having very bad manners in our grain, and we don't seem to be able to care about our fellow citizens. We don't have even the patriotism. For example, you've talked about Zimbabwe and the traffic lights. You've talked about different countries in Africa, and of course, you are very, very much well traveled across the globe and as well in the continent. And in Kenya, we seem to be people who are a bit maybe unpatriotic. And yesterday, remember, we were talking about the collapsed building in Kiambu, and I was reminding Miriam of the discussion we had here, and you said the people of Kenya actually lack the social contract with their own country. Today, we are having a calamity in Kiambu because someone was given an approval to build a 4-story building. They went ahead to build 6. There's some time also, someone was approved to build a building in Kiambu with an engineer and an architect. The owner of the house, seeing the cost of paying the engineer and the architect, actually went and took over the building, whereas he is not trained as an engineer. Today, Dr. Masanga, if a truck full of beer or maybe full of soda was to fall maybe somewhere around Thika Superhighway, you will be surprised people will run to take the merchandise and actually forget about the driver who could be trapped in the wrecked vehicle. And that is the way we Kenyans are. Today, if you have a demonstration somewhere in a certain town, whereas people will be demonstrating for a fair cost, some will actually be thinking about how to break into a certain retail store and be able to loot and take away the merchandise. So I agree with you. It is our culture. We have bad manners as a people. We don't regard even the rights of our fellow citizens. Neither do we regard even the sovereignty of our own government. That is why our deputy president today is in London talking ill about his own country. That is why the deputy president can take a trip to the US to go and poke holes in the legacy of the president, whereas the same government that he's talking ill about is the one that is paying for that particular trip. So we have bad manners as a people, and that one we should take it humbly and accept so that we are able to illuminate our own hearts and minds and see where we can be able to change and be able to become upright citizens of this country. Going back to the issue of One Kenya Alliance, I believe, Dr. Masanga, these people have been using Raila's name in bad light. You remember they used to threaten to move out of NASA, and that actually gave them some kind of limelight in the media. And soon after the NASA coalition, actually Raila said, okay, you can go ahead and dissolve the NASA coalition. Actually, they had nothing else to bring it to the limelight other than maybe holding meetings after meetings, like Douglas has said, and there was nothing which was coming out of those meetings. And you realize that they actually seem to have gone to the same script again of using Raila's name to gain political mileage. Someone like Moses Kuria is actually talking about not joining Azimio, or maybe not being taken to Azimio even if he dies today, whereas no one has invited him to join Azimio. Kalonzo Musyoka is also talking tough about joining Azimio, as if someone has put a gun behind his head and told him that you must join Azimio, otherwise we're going to blow off your brain. No one has done that to him. So yesterday's statement actually from Raila Odinga was long overdue, because Dr. Masanga, remember, you are the first people, among the first people who came out and said it is high time Azimio now moved forward without looking back, so that if there is anyone who feels that they want to join the movement, they can join us along the way, because we were wasting a lot of time. And yesterday when Raila said that Azimio is a coalition of the willing, exact same words that you used, that is the point in time where I felt actually this is where we ought to have been even a few months ago, because these guys have been wasting Azimio's time, taking them through a roller coaster of emotions and bringing them to a point where they feel maybe they're going to gain a consensus with them, only for Kalonzo to come out the next day and talk about totally different things and bring on the table totally different demands. So I think that is now a launching pad for now sober engagements with these people. And if they are serious enough, let them go look for the right Honorable Raila Odinga. Let them go look for the president, so that they are able to talk and be able to agree on the way forward in regards to the redemption of this country through Azimio la Umoja. The Muslims say that if Muhammad did not go to the mountain, then the mountain will go to Muhammad. So let them look for these leaders. Let them look for Raila Odinga and be able to talk. After all, It is the coalition of the willing. No one is being forced, and let them not have that particular behavior or the penchant of always reminding us they will not join Azimio. No one has been forced to join Azimio. It is under their own volition and their own will that they can be able to initiate talks with Azimio and be able to join the bandwagon. I submit, Dr. Masanga.
Thank you so much, Daniel. And one of our viewers here, I think, in regards to the border impunity, because I think that is what that is. He's saying, Jeremiah Mosiria, thank you so much for joining us this morning. You're calling this a class struggle, hustlers versus dynasty. And I think a couple of Kenyans were just, echoing, the same sentiments here by our viewer.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Miriam. Before we leave that topic, key issues came out. One, social contract. I've said China is united, gives us loans, and I want to thank Javan Karanja, Douglas. Come, this is your home. Let's be together. Come back, and we struggle together. This is the only pointer towards total emancipation. Thank you very much, Javan Karanja from Nanyuki. The eyes of the bereaved person with tears sees better than normal eyes. So take that from me, my younger generation. We see better. I see better. When I'm bereaved, I see better. When I am not, I might not see. But you are the vanguard of tomorrow. Social contract, point number one in our main segment of Kenya politics. Social contract, class struggle, hustlers versus dynasty, created by one man and one man called Ruto. That is what caused the book called The Wretched of Earth. If you look at what is happening in Kenya, is Wretched of Earth, book by Fenon Fans. It's very clear. And Ruto has been practicing that. When he started all this, I want people to touch on this situation with West Pokot. What is happening in West Pokot has a hand of Ruto. And I'm going to be firm on that. He can come and ask me if I've made an accusation without the basis. I will say why. Natembeya was the most hated man in the Rift Valley. One of the people who hated Natembeya is Ruto. Ruto, Murkomen, you remember? Ruto, Murkomen, they hated Natembeya. Why did they hate Natembeya? Because Natembeya knew their plans. They think that is happening in Elengeye Marakwet, in that valley, Keio Valley. Please, the government must look back and see, are there some specialized bandits who have arrived from somewhere, who are out, who are actually doing a rehearsal? Yesterday, they disrupted an exam.
I think calling them bandits, we are lessening. These are
criminals. Criminals, yes, but what other word can we call?
Doc, these are criminals.
These are criminals, seriously, who are not the normal criminals. These are trained people. Now, Miriam, I have been in those rebel activities. There are rebels who are not trained to disrupt targets. They are dormant. They steal cows and go under choma. Put there that they say we have eaten today. They have now no political agenda. But it looks like the bandits in the Rift Valley, as we speak now, have a political agenda. Someone is directing a political agenda in the Rift Valley. And someone in that whole area of Eastern has been quietly saying stage number 2. And this person has gone, as we are going to see in the next top of the hour. After this, you are going to see why Ruto went out there to cry loud Because he has created two-layer systems. It's only people who of intelligence, those who want to listen on intelligence gathering, who want to read intelligence, watch my lips. Ruto has created a two-layer system, a political layer system and a military layer system. And the military one is about to come. It will come when the elections don't go his way. Then he comes back and said, I came here. Me, I was the first one who was telling President Uhuru Kenyatta that there was someone going to confuse the elections. That is Ruto. That is the mind of Fenoni, the wretched of earth. Social contract broken down, you cannot unite. That's why men watch women being beaten and they join. You have no social contract. In China, go to the China streets and touch one Chinese. Touch one Chinese. Even in Uganda here. Not even, sorry, in Kenya. You go and touch one Chinese. You see them small and short like that. They will beat you blacks here, all of us. They will beat you like a 50 until the police comes in. Touch one of them. They have a social contract. They respect each other. They respect their country. We have no mindset, is broken. Our mindsets are dead. Morality is gone. Ethics, zero. Now, all this produce a class struggle. They find a very dangerous class struggle of poverty. But below the class struggle is poverty, that anybody having a motorcycle in Kenya can become a boda.
And anybody having a car, it is their fault that...
A dentist.
Yes, it's a dentist.
You stole.
Yes. It's your fault that now asks you...
Somebody must have told even this lady that this is a woman, a daughter. If she shouted the name and said, oh, I'm Masanga's daughter, whoa, they will even pour more fuel. Oh, this is Raila's daughter. Whoa, these are the people. Or if the name sounds like it comes like, I am Ngina, don't beat me. Oh, la. They will pour more oil there. The Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, this guy is not a very good man. This guy has created a very bad thing in this country called Kenya, Mr. President, and the security officers, agencies watching, listening to my lips. If you are not careful, we are in for a shocker. Because this guy will shock us, leave us in chaos, people will start fighting. No wonder the Archbishop of Canterbury did one thing yesterday, which I expected. And I believe he has been writing, I'm sorry, Mr. Ruto, but I wrote a letter, which I will now publish it now that you are leaving London. I will give you a copy. The Archbishop said, thank you very much for coming. I wait for Raila next week. Is that not good enough? Is that not good enough? We shall be coming to that subject later, but the things that I wanted us to summarize on this, in this particular little time, I know we have shot beyond your time, but to summarize this, which everybody here has raised, Douglas, Javan, and Wesonga: social contract, mindset, morality, ethics, class struggle, all this lead to
a breakdown
of
a society like we have.
Yes. Thank you very much.
And Doc, before we end...
Yes, we haven't ended. We are just summarizing to make the show lively. Because I know Wesonga, Javan, and Douglas are waiting to hit their usual meet.
And we are coming there, but there's also something here of concern that I think we should bring to the attention of our viewers. Kenyans have little trust in the IEBC study now shows. Majority of Kenyans have no confidence. I'm reading from page 8 on the Star newspaper. A majority of Kenyans have no confidence in the ability of the Electoral Commission to conduct a free and fair election on August 9th. A new study suggests. The study conducted between December 20th, 2021 and January 3rd, 2022 by Twaweza Sauti ya Wananchi indicates indicates only 4 out of 10 Kenyans, translating to 41%, believe the IEBC was capable of conducting credible polls. This is a decrease from 2017, when 2 out of every 3 people, that was 65%, said the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission is capable of conducting free and fair elections. So only 41%, according to this study, have confidence that IEBC can conduct a free, fair, and verifiable election. The rest are saying no. This IEBC is not the one to conduct these elections.
I think I'm one of those who doesn't want Mr. Chebukati to handle our vote, your vote. And if I was a Kenyan, I would have said it openly and even gone to chain myself at the door of IEBC that Chebukati should not enter that IEBC. Kenyans, listen to me, watch. It is correct. Ruto knows what he has done about this election. You get my point? I told you. He went and got a man, a relative, brought a man who, and introduced the guy to Mr. IEBC chairman. And they want to print ballot papers in Greece. How do you print ballot papers in Greece, a country that is gone? It is broken down. Ruto has realized that we shouted about that. Then he turned around to say the IEBC is not good now. They will not conduct good elections. Wafula Chebukati has not even issued one letter to Mr. Ruto to come and tell the IEBC why he thinks the election. He should write this letter and publish it to us as journalists. We want to see the letter. We want to read it to the public of Kenya. Krigler told us, don't try anything. Actually, the MPs should now move in parliament to disband the IEBC now, and prepare a fresh, nice election. This one has not been well prepared by the IEBC itself. It is not me, Matanga. I am not a voter, but I'm an observer. And if I were to write a report about this, look at today, Miriam, you don't know how many voters are. The voters register has not been cleaned. This guy has got on the coat and the tie you see there. I've seen him physically when I met him in a hotel. He's not worth, he's sickly. He should not even be holding this thing here. I'm sorry to say this. He doesn't have the energy like Matanga to run around, to run an institution. It's like taking Matanga and Namwamba coming out of the same plane. They will think I'm the foreign minister of Kenya, because I will come out with decorum. This Wafula Chebukati talks like someone is controlling him behind. Don't say this, don't say that, don't say that. So he will not hold this election. This man, Ruto, has planned 2 ways. And if I'm wrong, you will see. He's planned 2 ways. 2 ways. You will see. You will see a problem very soon. It has started in KO. You can't do the exams. If our children cannot do the exams, he wants to draw the whole army in KO Valley. Then they go and do the damage. Then he comes around and say they are now killing our people. Mr. Murkomen is saying they have neglected KO Valley. But when the army goes there, Murkomen is going to be the first person to say the army is killing our people. So the basic thing that the Kenya government can do is to arrest that situation before it goes beyond up to the election time. The basic thing that the Kenya government should have done And I'm now saying it without fear of ever, of anything. Or is President Uhuru Kenyatta should seek the parliament guidance as to whether we are ready for this election. As whether you Kenyans are ready for this election. I'm sorry. There's something wrong. Ruto has managed this election treasonably. He has already, he has painted a picture. Can I tell you what? In 1981, I went to President Milton Obote in the morning. It was a Tuesday. I had come back from my town. And I went to His Excellency the President in the morning. He said, okay, yeah, my younger man, what do you have now? He looked at me, he said, why are you sad? I said, Mr. President, I came from up country. But yesterday I was in Speak Hotel. And I found Salim Saleh, the group of President Museveni and others. We used to sit in one joint there in Speak Hotel. And I used to live in Speak Hotel when I come from up country. So when I was going to my room, I noticed a group of all our friends who used to be in UNLF and the UNLA. They were seated in one corner there having a drink. So I went down and I sat there and I said, how are you? Oh, why is Mbali? How is everything? You look smart today in your shirt. I said, yes. I sat down. So the president called me when I went in the morning. The president called me and I told him that, Mr. President, I have heard some things which are not very good. I passed by my room. I was going to sleep, but I saw His Excellency, the current president now, he was being waited for by his bodyguards. Then I asked, where were they? They were in Speak Hotel had another room where you can hide without people seeing you. Those in Kampala, Ugandans watching this. He was there meeting some people. Believe me or not, I told the president there is something which is not very right. He said, no, how do you know? He said, President Museveni is a very good friend of mine. He's a younger man. I have trained from Tanzania. This is exactly, I'm telling you, Miriam, I remember this. I was a young man with a bright brain, very bright up to today. I saw this. Then the president told me I would talk to him. Tomorrow I will talk to Yoweri. This is how he used to call His Excellency President Museveni now, Yoweri. He never called him by name. He said, I will talk to Yoweri. Where is Yoweri today? No, where is Yoweri today? He's the president of Republic of Uganda. The following, that same day in the afternoon, reports when the president wanted, by then there were no mobile phones. He was waiting to call on the land phone of Yoweri. Yoweri was gone. Where? He had already attacked a barracks. So I was, again, 3 days passed, I was summoned, now frog-marched. Because one of the people in my office, in Uganda People's Congress headquarters, called Victor Bwana, had also disappeared with the same gang. Have you seen? So this, when you are telling people the history, the problem, the experience you have gone through, I'm telling you, Ruto has a plan B. Yesterday he said in London that, do you think there's someone ataiba kura yangu? So a man like that has plan B. Mchunge, nyenye wa Kenya mchunge, ako na plan B. So many things have been happening. Why did they hate Natembea so much? Why is it that Cherengei, Murkomen and Ruto, they hate Natembeya. When Natembeya resigned, there were celebrations. Why? 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 If I'm wrong, God will help me. But I'm telling you, there's something that this gentleman you see there has a double-edged. He's not ready for elections. And I think, Miriam, bring this topic to an end. We climb on the other topic. And we see how he has ashamed this country abroad. But there you are. And I hope I am right on this one. You watch carefully. It happened to me. It has happened twice. 81, 85, 84. 85 is me again who went to Obote and said, the Acholi commanders met in Mbale in a factory. All of them. Obote told me, again, you have brought the same story. I said, but you remember I told you this thing, Your Excellency, long time ago. Now they met in Mbale, they are going. I bumped into them because some of them are very good friends of mine. They said, how are you? But they did not return to Kampala. Miriam, they did not return to Kampala. They actually commanders who came to overthrow us in 1985, they did not return to Kampala. That was the last day I saw them, and this Matanga is the one who saw them. Again, I told you about it. Even if we meet in the grave, I'll ask him. One day, if there is a life down there. I said, Mzee, unaona? I've suffered 37 years of exile. Grown old here, my children grown old because of people not listening. We are now not listening. We are waiting for Kalonzo. We are what? We have no narrative. What? Where's the narrative of Azimio? Create a narrative and a move. Raila Odinga should have his move. Go. Wachana Kalonzo. Kama anakuja, akuje. Mr. Raila, what is going on, man? You are a guerrilla commander. You are not just a simple civilian like a Ruto. Wake up, let's go. Kama watu wakuambia, mimi nakuambia. Kama if you don't want me, I will still campaign for you. Hey. I'm sorry. Eh? Let's go to the field. Wachana na watu. If Kalonzo wants, let Uhuru Kenyatta talk to Kalonzo. Sisi tuende. Watu waanze kumobilize like a Jubilee party is mobilizing. I can see everywhere, red. Those are the type of actions that we need now to defeat this militarist. Come politician, come hustler, come class struggle creator to create chaos like a Fanoni Fanzi. That the violence and the violence alone, that once violence is instigated in the people's minds, you rule them. That's what Ruto has done. That's what Ruto is doing in the Rift Valley. Everybody in the Rift Valley, including men who are grown up, and they wear suits, they fear this guy here. They fear him like a what? The ICC is hammering him there. Who killed those witnesses? Wanamupiga huko. Huyu hawezi kuweza watu nchi yote dunia mzima. Tutamweza. Nyenye. Raila, what is Raila doing now? Raila is telling me stories now again that you are waiting for Kalonzo. ODM, what? Let Uhuru Kenyatta do diplomacy with Kalonzo. Is Kalonzo the only voter? We have 3 governors there. Wacha tugawane hiyo kura ya Ukambani. This is the same problem, Miriam. Bring the topic. Give us the weather updates, sports. Where Songa has sports, I think.
how about we just maybe take a short break and then we come back with this other show.
Is it tough? No, that's we shall continue with it, but give us our weather and we finish. But I think I'm honest on this one. His Excellency, the right Prime Minister, listen to me, and your people should listen to me. Just start the campaign. Go on, forget. Let's have a narrative. We go with the narrative. Educate our people. There are many people who love you in this country. There are many people who can win, make you win an election. Where Matanga is on your side, you will not be alone. I'm here. I was born before Ruto. Ruto was born in 1966. 11 years apart. He cannot threaten us. Wacha to crack this boy. Na sisi tuuze sera yetu mzuri. Lakini tukaa kwa maofisi tunatafuta Kalonzo. Kalonzo that he wants to wear a suit to impress Museveni. Museveni told him, my friend, you are wasting time there. South Sudan is defeating him. He can't look at. Hey. I have got something for South Sudan. Itakuwa moto. Tomorrow, put South Sudan here. I want to name and shame people.
And you know, in the meeting,
so that the president can know.
In the meeting, South Sudan was the topic, the major topic of. I wonder why he went to discuss South Sudan in Uganda.
He's the peace envoy of Kenya.
But why would he do that in Uganda?
Do you know why he does that in Uganda?
Salva Kiir will not be very happy with that.
They have a problem. Mm-hmm. They have a problem. You see, just director, give a minute. The problem of South Sudan is this, and President Museveni, hear me. Somebody has created an army in the middle. And that army is called the National Salvation Army. If you want to find out who sponsors that National Salvation Army, God is watching me up here. You will find out who is failing the people of South Sudan. There is a disaster in South Sudan. The peace process cannot hold anymore.
All right, as Doc do that, perhaps you just take a very short break and then we come back with this topic that we've been meaning to talk about. I know, Doc, we've gotten a bit into it, but I'd like for us to look at it.
Yeah, the weather. Let's not forget the weather. Well, Songa, do you have any sports? Have we sold the Chelsea at all?
Well, we do have a
Songa?
Yes.
Yes, it is. It's actually in the process of being sold, and there is an Irish billionaire who has actually bid to buy the club. So it is an end of an era for Roman Abramovich.
Roman
Abramovich. I don't know that, but I don't understand that name. But Chelsea, good luck. Liverpool still stands because it's a party, is a football club of us, the slaves. Did you know that? It was created on the basis. Nobody wanted to go to Liverpool. In those days, in the 1880s, for you to say you are making a journey to Liverpool, But now it's the best city. Every corner you see your fellow, hello, how are you? Which part of Africa do you come from? Hello, which part of Caribbean? It's Liverpool. Thank you very much, Liverpool. Grow strong. And Chelsea, we have a problem there. The man is homeless. Is he? Yes. The tragedy of politics. Man who had spent 5.5 billion in the economy of Britain is now homeless.
He does have a home.
No, they have removed the visa. So how will you stay?
He'll have to sell and go back to Russia.
Yeah, no, he can't. In Russia, the man is waiting for him
True.
because they think he was selling some secrets to some intelligence systems. So the guy could go maybe Gulf state or somewhere. So life is like that. You are never born a refugee. I didn't even know that I'll reach where I am and meet medium. Life is like that. So don't think that it's only for me. It could be you tomorrow. Remember the one word we song, revolution has no timetable. I think let's continue hitting this guy. We take only break and bring in.
So you think Arsenal is owned by Paul Kagame? Okay.
Yeah, but I think you are not wrong on that one. Yeah, it could be.
Good morning, Joseph. Good morning.
Joseph Otto, I don't know. Can we go on with this topic? Just have a break and continue with this same line, isn't it?
Okay, so we will take a
short
break.
We take a break, but Miriam, I think Raila, you know, the whole thing annoyed me about Raila. ODM sitting and just saying we wait for Kalonzo.
But they've said they'll go on without
yes,
him.
But
on
Saturday. Isn't it we who shouted here?
Because
I wrote and I said, go it alone. What are you waiting for?
They're saying the grace period is over. The
hey.
That's enough. So
you can't wait for a man who is still looking the highest bidder. Why has Ruto cut his journey to Qatar? These are things that are coming next. Watch Punchline Africa TV. We are revealing it. Mr. Ruto, you think you are better than us? We travel at night and come during daytime. We finished you in Qatar. You have cut your journey short. The world is watching you. Every money, everywhere you are, we are watching you. We shall catch you. By the way.
Or maybe we just continue.
Yes, let's continue. The thing is getting charged now.
All right, so Doc, let me, yes.
Just take the tea.
Let me just
It is so good. In. Is Ruto going to Qatar, yes or no? Or any supporter of Ruto outside there? Yes, you look like, by the way, his eyes are bulgy. What is going on? His eyes are big. He didn't have enough sleep.
He just needs to put some tea leaves.
He needs to rest.
Something. Yeah, he needs
Mr. Deputy President, you need to rest a bit. Take time.
Some tea bags.
So since you are not going to since you are not going to Qatar, what were you going to do in Qatar? You are going to steal money from there and send it to Wala. They have known. They have known. Your own people there. They have already told us what you are trying to do. We have people embedded in you. Don't think they also don't tell us. I followed the story. Mr. Peter Aaron, you can call me silly 2 million times. But I will never be silly, but I will not accept Ruto's presidency. At least Matanga. I'll go home. Thank you very much.
All right, and let's just start, rather continue the conversation from page 6 on the Star newspaper. Deputy President William Ruto has distanced himself from reports he and President Uhuru Kenyatta shared out the government equally after the 2013 polls. Ruto instead insisted that the Jubilee administration was a unit headed by President who made all appointments. There were no dockets that were given to me. I didn't appoint any minister anywhere. Everybody was appointed by the President of Kenya. Ruto said as at Chatham House in the UK. Ruto's assertions contradict his boss, who recently accused the DP of running down the agriculture docket. Speaking in Sagana State Lodge last month, the president said those responsible for the ministry in the past oversaw the collapse of various subsectors, including tea, coffee, and rice. But speaking in the UK, the DP denied ever sharing government positions, saying even in their first term, when they ran a coalition government, the president made all appointments. And then, of course, there's the issue of NSSF and NHIF there that he addressed, which we will continue looking as we continue with this conversation. So I guess for the the failures that we've seen in the government and some of these dockets by some of these CSs, Ruto is saying there's no way he can be responsible because it is on the prerogative of the president to, appoint the cabinet secretaries.
Thank you very much. Before we discuss this topic, we are now discussing diplomatic leaks. Ruto's trip to US, United Kingdom. Today we shall look at the aspects of how Kenya has been ashamed abroad. And Miriam, you have brought one of the aspects where His Excellency Dr. William Samoei Ruto says he was not part of the cabinet. He doesn't have cabinet slots. Yet it is well known that in the second cabinet of 2017, he brought his own list, and demanded. Ruto demanded that these people be given the ministries. Let's listen to Ruto's speech at London Chatham House. I think I sent it to Stephen. You have it? Play it. Let people listen first, then we come back and see how a man has been a certified liar. How he has become a liar. A liar, not only a liar now, certified by accountants, by international agencies, by speech writers, by psychologists. But I want to ask one thing. Maybe we are speaking to a man who has just come out of hospital, hospitalized. You know, when you take a lot of drugs, there is a syndrome called what? I'll look for that name of the syndrome. It's like Moses Kuria also has now a syndrome. He has been in hospital too long with overlegs, and what he's speaking can be the effects of the drugs that he takes, because so that the legs can heal properly. Ruto could be on something like drugs. We might be talking to a patient. Now, I'm beginning to ask, because some of the things that the deputy president said in these audiences shame me as an African. You go and tell people that corruption is, that when I become a president, I will fight corruption. Yet you are in the same government and then you are not helping to fight corruption. And you are the main cause of that corruption. Let's listen to Ruto.
Yes, I have been deputy president for 9 years. I don't know which dockets were given to me, because when President Uhuru Kenyatta formed government after the election, we've always had one president. We've never had two. And the responsibility over government has never been shared between Uhuru Kenyatta and myself. There were no dockets that were given to me. I didn't appoint no minister anywhere. Everybody was appointed by the President of Kenya.
My friend, the fact that I am elected deputy president means the people of Kenya, if things go wrong in this government, President Uhuru Kenyatta and I will be the ones to be asked. Forget even about MD of, I don't know, some organization, cabinet secretary this and cabinet secretary that.
At Chatham House, I'll start with Douglas Kirimi. What is your reaction to what the Deputy President said?
Thank you, Miriam. I have a very huge problem with public servants who have become liars at the behest of a nation, our peaceful coexistence, and also our well-being as a public and also as a country. Miriam, honestly, if a man goes onto international arena and claims that they never shared government with the President Uhuru Kenyatta and is on record for the past 9 years claiming to be a partner, claiming to be a core principal in the administration of the government of Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto since 2013, until now that he has found out that the President of the Republic of Kenya does not support his individual ambition to become the President of the Republic of Kenya. Remember, it is not our collective responsibility to support the individual ambition of the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya by the virtue of that he served in government for 9 years. It is his own individual ambition to become President of the Republic of Kenya. The same way the leader of Azimio movement, Raila Amolo Odinga's ambition is a personal ambition to become the head of state and government and also the President of the Republic of Kenya. We, as the people of Kenya, are unconcerned about that ambition. We can only be touched by the same ambition when he becomes a full president who has been sworn into office. Then he assumes the office as the President of the Republic of Kenya and also the head of state and defense forces of the Republic of Kenya, Miriam. Basically, William Ruto was telling us and also telling the world that the people of Kenya are so primitive, they cannot see through his eyes, they cannot watch what he was doing at Chatham House in London, allowing that he was not in control of appointing his own clansmen who are also his personal friends, who also were acting as his own proxies for the last 9 years, and also the first term as his proxies to root government and make sure that the government does not work for the last 5 years that we experienced in the first Jubilee administration's time. Also, the President of the Republic of Kenya is on record, Miriam, saying and telling us with the people of Kenya that he did not work well with the previous people that were in government for the first 5 years he was president. He said he attributes his greatest achievements to 2018 to 2022 when they came together with the leader of opposition, the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, who supported him through the handshake and other government initiatives. And actually, a man who has stopped William Ruto from stealing the Uhuru Gardens where the National Heroes Museum has been built by the administration of President Uhuru Kenyatta, Miriam. I thought William Ruto has become a pathological liar who has also become an hybrid political conman, who has gone even to diaspora, begrudging the government that he has been able to serve for 9 years, and also is matching the name and the legacy of the President of the Republic of Kenya. Miriam, the same man, I think 2 months and a half when he was in Meru, or 2 months ago when he was in Meru, he said he cannot be denied the failures and also the successes of the Jubilee administration, since he was a co-principal, since he was a partner using the URP party and TNA that formed the Jubilee coalition that ruled for 5 years. Now, he is telling people in London that they cannot be able to come together and share the same government, or when he can tell us he is going to deny that Felix Kosgei, the former Minister for Agriculture, was not appointed by William Ruto. He told us, Willie Bett, the former Minister for Agriculture, was not appointed by him, William Ruto. He tells us Davis Churchill, the former Minister for ICT, that was sacked in 2015, that now has made a comeback in the office of the Deputy President as a Chief of Staff, was not appointed by William Ruto. He tells us Charles Ketel, the former senator for Kericho County, who became the Minister for Energy and Petroleum, that now, who has also left government as a Minister for Devolution, and also now he has gone to run for office in Kericho County, was not appointed by William Ruto. He tells us Farida Karone, the Minister for Roads, was not appointed by William Ruto. He tells us that these people, all of them who are coming from his community, are appointees of President Uhuru Kenyatta. People who have defined the government agenda, who have defined the government of Uhuru Kenyatta, who have been picking instructions from his office in Karen, are appointees of President Uhuru Kenyatta. He tells us anything that has been done since 2013 and to 2022, he has nothing to do with it. He was just a constitutional paper tiger, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. He has been a ghost worker for 9 years. He tells us he has been blindfolded, that he cannot be able to see what has been happening under the administration of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And Miriam, I take this opportunity to ask the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya to cease from taking credit of what Uhuru Kenyatta has been able to do. He is telling us the people of Kenya elected a paper tiger deputy president together with his president in 2013 and 2017, A and B, 2 elections in 1 year, Miriam. We cannot be able to fathom the rise that William Ruto has been able to spill in London, Miriam. This is the same man that is coming this week to write to these people, to the same people in this country. On Saturday is coming to Meru and tell the people of Meru that we have built roads here, we have connected electricity, and we have done this and this. But when it goes to foreign capitals, Miriam, as if we live in Mars or Jupiter or Venus, where radio stations or internet does not get to the people, he tells us that he does not know what was happening for the last 9 years. He did not appoint anybody in government. He was not in charge of anything in government. The same man was in America the other week, Miriam, telling us, the people of Kenya, that we, the Jubilee administration, achieved this and this and this. You can cite the administration's legacy, all the projects which are convenient to you. And what is not convenient to you, you run away from the same Miriam. It is high time William Ruto tells the people of Kenya that he is ready to refund every taxpayer money, including the 107 million shillings, over $1 million that he has been able to use in his foreign tours, that he is not even in government. He's a ghost worker. And I've said before, Miriam, this is an hybrid ghost worker working in this government who has not been working. If you can see from one side of his mouth that he has not been in government. And when it comes to the Republic of Kenya, he tells us he has been part of government, he can be denied credit of the same. What is he telling us, Miriam? I am very ashamed of my deputy president, who is the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya, and I urge the people of Kenya, please don't vote for this man. He's going to take this country to the dogs, and please bequeath the next generation a leadership that you can believe in, and a leadership that cannot and will not abandon the people of Kenya when the push comes to the shove. Thank you.
The newspaper has carried out this story on page 11. Deputy President William Ruto yesterday resumed his assault on President Uhuru Kenyatta, terming the alleged failures in the second term as the president alone. In a forum at Chatham House in the UK, Dr. Ruto said he had played no role in the second term, alleging that President Kenyatta did not want him to play a significant role. He dismissed Mr. Kenyatta's claim he had failed in the ministerial dockets assigned to him in the first term, saying that he never shared the responsibility of driving government with the president. Daniel.
Thank you so much, Miriam. And of course, my brother Douglas Krenyi has been able to exploit that particular horizon quite effectively. And wherever I sit, Miriam, sometimes I always feel like even the devil himself would be feeling so much jealous wherever he is, because the rate at which William Ruto lies is more than even what the devil expects him to be. So I think, Miriam, this is very, very unfortunate that he can choose to go abroad to go actually to lie about his maybe stand up against corruption, his stand against maybe other vices that have been happening in society. And on top of it all, just deny with a very, very dry eye and high audacity that he did not participate in the selection of the cabinet. Come on, Miriam. You know, in 2013, we were told William Ruto took 50% of the government and President Uhuru Kenyatta took 50% of the government. And you cannot tell me that it is President Uhuru Kenyatta who went in 2017 and actually talked to the CEOs of the former CEOs of energy, Charles Ketera, told him to actually resign as the senator for Kericho so that he could appoint him to be a CS for energy. That was an ally of Deputy President William Ruto. So when he tells us that he did not partake in a selection of a cabinet ministers in the government, it's actually akin to passing the buck to President Uhuru Kenyatta. And that is what he has been doing here in Kenya. Anything that comes out of government that is not pleasant or maybe which is not out of merit, he actually tries to push it towards President Uhuru Kenyatta's corner. But whichever good that comes out of government, even regarding the legacy of the president, he goes around showering himself with the praise and taking credit for the project. So to me, this is a man who lies like no one can ever lie. This is a man who is out there to actually sell his agenda, and it doesn't matter the cost of him doing so, even if it means actually slinging his boss abroad and actually telling things that are not quite true about the government of the day. And remember, this is the same government that has paid the trip for William Ruto to go up to UK and the US. So to me, Miriam, this is not a man who cannot be trusted. In the US, he said that the government was actually planning to rig his vote. In the UK yesterday, he said no one can actually ever rig his vote. So what does he really want? What does he stand for? You know, in 2017, he was talking about ODM and NASA actually having a parallel tallying center as an illegal entity. Today, he's actually also talking about setting up a similarly illegal entity to be able to tally and relay parallel results. So this man is a man who is not principled. This is a man who does not speak the truth. This is a man who does not believe in any ideals. He never believed in the pro-democracy crusade. He never believed even in the new constitution. He never believed even in the unity of this country. And I would really like to thank the Kenyan patriots in London. And they showed some seriousness in terms of how they were handling William Ruto, something that was never seen with the Americans. And that is why perhaps in UK, Dr. Masanga will tell you that the citizens of the UK are actually a very serious lot, you know. It's not like in America where we have people shooting others and doing all the kind of crazy things. There's a gentleman who came and asked, in 2013, you had a party called United Republican Council, United Republican Party, the URP, and today you have the United Democratic Alliance. So are you a Republican or are you a Democrat? Because when you go to the most developed democracies, if you are a Republican, you actually most probably consistently subscribe to certain Republican ideas. Or if you are a Democrat, you actually subscribe to a certain consistent democratic ideas. So that means that this is a man who does not even believe in any tangible ideal. And that was actually something that exposed the kind of lies and the kind of convenience vehicles that William Ruto uses just to be able to clinch power. So this is a man who does not have an agenda, in as much as he moves around telling people that his opponents do not have an agenda. So let him respect the president, let him be patriotic enough to his country, and if he cannot be patriotic enough to his own country, let him know that it is courtesy of that particular country that he's derailing, that he's sabotaging abroad, that he has actually traveled abroad. And if he feels that is not enough, then let him resign from government and leave that position for someone who is patriotic enough, who can be able to run the office of the deputy president and bring a good name to this country, Miriam. I submit.
All right, thank you. And still continuing with this story in the Standard newspaper, and evidently Ike Ruto could not hide his distaste in the fact that the president had picked Mr. Odinga as his choice of successor. There is no government and there is no opposition, the DP added on the first day of his 3-day trip to the UK. He said the functioning democracies should have distinctions in what government was and what the opposition was. The DP further claimed that government was shielding perpetrators of corruption. Javan.
Thank you very much, Miriam. And I will not say that I'm disappointed with William Ruto, the Deputy President of Kenya, but I'm getting used to who he is, because majority of people are acting surprised that Deputy President is lying and altering all kind of words towards the head of state. And that is what he has been doing for the last 4 years. But Miriam, where I have a problem is when he says that from 2013 to 2018, he was not part of the government. And he was going around the country saying that he controls the half of the government. In fact, in 2013 to 2017, William Ruto behaved as a co-president. You could not differentiate who was the head of state. He was behaving as if he was a co-president to Uhuru Kenyatta. And President Uhuru Kenyatta has said it categorically that they divided the government into two halves, equal halves. Therefore, when he says that he was not consulted when the cabinet secretaries were appointed, that is a pure lie that need to be called out with all possible terms, because the deputy president from 2013, he brought his tribesmen in the cabinet. When you look at the list, the list that William Ruto submitted to president for appointment, and the list that President Uhuru Kenyatta had for the same appointment, you'll see clearly that William Ruto only brought people from his Kalenjin nation. But when you look at the list that President Uhuru Kenyatta appointed to cabinet slots, you'll see a mixture of people from all tribes of this country. This tells that William Ruto, apart from being a pathological liar, he is also a nepotist. He is also a tribal man who can do everything to ensure that his tribesmen are in influential position. When you look at government parastatals and appointments to ambassadors' job and boards, you saw William Ruto having a half of those appointments. Therefore, when he says that he was not part of the government, that is pure deceit, and people need to see who he is. Miriam, I'm not. I think from yesterday, what Deputy President said, he also surprised his own followers, even his UDA supporters are surprised because they didn't expect that. Because when William Ruto comes to crowds, when he comes to public rallies in our villages, he can't go without mentioning some project that he has accomplished. And he says, tumejenga barabara fulani, tumejenga TTIs, tumejenga this and that. Therefore, we are left wondering, ulijenga ukiwa kama nani? Who are you when these things were being delivered? That shows he was part of the government. And the virtue that the deputy president still enjoys government laxity to date, that's clear indication that he is still part and parcel of this government. And he has said that he will not relinquish power because he was elected by the people of Kenya. That is what the deputy president said when he was asked to step down. When people thought of impeaching him, he said that I'm elected by the people of Kenya, and there's only the people of Kenya who can ask me to leave the office of the deputy president. Therefore, a man who claims that he holds the power because the people elected him, the people elected him because there was something that they expected him to deliver. Did he deliver what those people who elected him expected or what he promised to them? No. Therefore, this is a pure man. These are pure lies. This is a man who can lie depending on the crowds. When he was in United States, he was saying that there are plans to rig his election. When he goes to UK, he says that he is man enough and nobody can dare touch or steal his rig his votes. Therefore, this is a man who contradicts himself depending on his audience. Therefore, we need to call him out. He is a master of double speak, that's who he is, and he has been consistent, Miriam. If there's a man in this country, a politician who has been consistent in lies, is the deputy president. That is an attribute that we cannot take away from him. Therefore, Miriam, I'm not surprised. That is who he is, and he'll continue lying until we go for this election. But the most important thing is to ensure that as we go to these votes, all presidential candidates, they need to sell us a concrete agenda. They need to sell us a strategic plans on what they will do to revolutionize our country, what they'll do to revamp our economy, what they'll do to settle the debts that we have as a country, or not these side shows and fighting the head of state. Because from where I sit, President Uhuru Kenyatta is not running for political office. He has done his part. They have achieved what they have achieved as a Jubilee administration. And if there is any failures in Jubilee administration, Deputy President is part and parcel of that failure. If there are success in Jubilee administration, William Ruto is part and parcel of those success. Therefore, he should not behave as if he only celebrates, he only takes credit when the government of the day has done something incredible, but denies any association with the government when there's mistakes or when the government fails to deliver. That is something that is not good, and leaders should not emulate that route. Thank you.
Okay, and Doug, finally, how the Daily Nation has captured this story, Ruto to run parallel voting tallying center on page 8. The Kenya Kwanza Alliance, led by Deputy President William Ruto, will set up a parallel tallying center to check the transmission of results from polling stations to the election headquarters in August 9th polls. Addressing Kenyans in the UK yesterday, the DP said they will put in place measures to protect their votes, despite having raised the alarm over an alleged plot to rig the election. While on the US leg of his tour. My votes cannot be stolen. I'm not the type they can steal votes from. It's not possible, the DP told supporters at Holiday Inn Hotel in London. And speaking in Nyeri's allies alleged a plot by the government to use state officers to rig August 9th election. Doc, this and the rest of other issues that the rest of our panelists has discussed. You can just take us on now from there.
Okay. Let me start by stating that it is a shame. And I think I will do a takeaway. Do I do a takeaway as we finish? Our viewers, President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, after the 2017 elections, decided to seek, to look, to search for peace. President Uhuru Kenyatta looked at Kenya as a country that needs unity of purpose. That political parties were above Kenya, a nation was above political parties. That a nation must prevail in unity of purpose before you talk of politics. Politics without unity was senseless. He shook his hand, took out his hand, he shook hands with His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister, Raila Amolo Odinga. With the knowledge of the then Deputy President, because I call him the then Deputy President, because he is no longer a member of Jubilee Party that formed the same government. William Ruto planted spies in the State House. Time has come for the truth, for people to know that who were these spies. Manoa was one. The State House controller was two, who was handling the diary of President Uhuru Kenyatta. I think time has come for Kenyans to be told where this thing went wrong. Itumbi was another axis of evil that were planted around President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. There's another group of the so-called intellectuals who used to steal things from President Uhuru Kenyatta and report everything to Ruto. The truth must be told. Ruto brought, in the second term, brought conditions. Ruto did not want some people, some names to be in the State House. He gave out the name of several people, including people who had worked so hard for President Uhuru Kenyatta. He wanted them. Some of these people used to tell Ruto the tie that the president was wearing, the shirt that the president was wearing, the suit that the president was wearing. And the Ruto could wear the same. Because Kenyans fear to tell the truth, let me say it. And let this clip go around and tell those who were spies, spying on the president, and spying, releasing documents to Ruto. In the second term, when the president went out for Raila Amolo Odinga with a handshake, Ruto lost all the contacts in the State House. The traitors, the spies, the sellouts, the peddlers. Uhuru Kenyatta saw a new beginning of Kenya towards a legacy, a new beginning of building peace. Peace without obstacles of a rumor monger, a violent Stockholm syndrome holder called Ruto. And they fired that direction with his brother, big brother called Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga did not come in the government. Raila Amolo Odinga has no position in the government. Is not a minister in a government. Raila Amolo Odinga remains the leader of opposition officially in this country. But an opposition that wants a united Kenya, an opposition that wants the good for the Kenyans, an opposition that wants one country, one man, one vote, one shilling, one vote, an opposition that wants healing. The healing that Raila Odinga brought in, the aspect of a redemption strategy, the building of BBI, bridges so that people heal and the Kenyans forgive each other for the past, was the nucleus of the formation of the friendship between Raila Amolo Odinga and Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. If there is anybody naive on this planet Earth who would think he would take over a country and rule a country which is divided in shambles, chaos, crisis, people fighting, abductions, like what is happening in the other countries like Nigeria, which we see today, where Buhari is seated in Abuja, but the rest of Nigeria is falling to pieces. From bandits, from abductors, from all this, from Boko Haram. Uhuru Kenyatta resisted the temptations of allowing Kenya to go to the dogs. He decided he would do away with some of these informers, traitors, who were leaking information from State House to Ruto. Immediately Ruto lost his informers. Immediately Ruto lost his people, the people who were giving him information on a daily basis, including giving him the information of the whereabouts of where the president was. Ruto became annoyed and left in annoyance. After all, he was ashamed. The ambassador in The Hague, what is his name? It's called Yorapa, who was the chief controller, who was a man who was actually all the time releasing these secrets. A new man came into place. And this is the story we have to tell Kenyans. People ask, where did this happen? What happened? Why is the president not talking to the president, to deputy? Why would you talk to a man who plants spies in your own office? My take here today is that the relationship went down south when Ruto refused to go to the route of a peaceful Kenya and decided to go to a route of dismembering Kenya. Uhuru Kenyatta resisted. He has no regrets for resisting, and he is not going to change his mind. It will remain the president of the Republic of Kenya up to the end, but he is not going to allow a Kenya divided. Ruto's ambition is to grab power, protect the wealth, the ill-gotten wealth that he has accumulated without explanation. Ruto's ambition is to make sure the classes struggle in Africa, in Kenya, the hustler versus the dynasty. Yet he doesn't know himself is a dynasty. He has created an empire. He's richer. He's counted amongst the richest. If you Google Ruto, amongst the richest corrupt people in the world, Ruto's name comes out first in Kenya. How many families have been killed, stuffed, or starved with allegations of having given him Ruto money? Very many. How many general managers have lost their jobs? If he says he wasn't in the government, why were these ministers, all of them who resigned from government, from his tribe, none of them has gone to Jubilee Party? They have all gone to Ruto's UDA party. They want to support their man, their master. The PS, all PSs, all of them who resigned, they have gone to support their man who brought them into government. So it is a total false lie for Ruto to tell the world that he was not part of the government. Ruto was part of the government. He had a share in the government, in the first one, the second one, and that is why he cannot resign. If he had no share, why would he stick in the government which he had no share? Why is he sticking to be a deputy president? Does he help us as observers? The answer is no. Therefore, treat Ruto, wherever you see him, as a money launderer, a corrupt man, a very vicious guy, a violent guy, a man who can kill if he got a chance to kill. Thank you.
All right, and thank you for watching. Thank you, Daniel Wesonga. Thank you, Douglas Kirimi, and of course, Jevan Karanja, who have found time to be with us today. But thank you also for watching. We'll see you later on in the afternoon at 3 p.m. with more news from across the continent. Thank you, Dr. Matanga. My name is Mira Mogutu. Bye-bye for now.